The girl who wasn't my sister. I still remember the night everything happened. Or, at least I thought it happened. My name is Daniel, and I live with my parents and my younger sister, Emma. She was 13 years old, always smiling, always annoying me by stealing my snacks and hiding my headphones. If you asked me a week ago if I believed in ghosts or demons, I would have laughed. Now, I'm not so sure. It started on a rainy Friday night. The power had gone out across our neighborhood. My parents had gone to visit my grandmother in the hospital and weren't supposed to return until morning. That left me and Emma alone. "Can we watch a horror movie?" Emma asked while holding a flashlight under her face. "No," I said. "You're scared." "I'm not scared. Horror movies are just stupid." She laughed. Outside, thunder shook the house. We ended up sitting in the living room, eating chips and telling scary stories. At around 11 o'clock, Emma suddenly looked toward the kitchen. "Did you hear that?" she asked. "Hear what?" "A whisper." I listened. Nothing. "You're imagining things." She shrugged. A few minutes later, I heard it too. A soft voice. It sounded like someone saying my name. "Daniel," I froze. "Okay," I said nervously. That's weird." Emma smiled. "See, I told you." I grabbed my flashlight and walked toward the kitchen. Nobody was there. I checked the back door. Locked. The windows closed. I returned to the living room. Emma was gone. "Emma?" No answer. I heard footsteps upstairs. I sighed. Very funny. I climbed the stairs. The hallway was dark. At the end of the hall, I saw Emma standing in front of her bedroom door. She wasn't moving. "Emma?" Nothing. "Stop messing around." Slowly, she turned around. I nearly screamed. Her face looked wrong. Her smile stretched too wide. Her eyes looked completely black. "Emma?" I whispered. She giggled. Then she ran into her room and slammed the door. I stood there, shaking. I opened the door. The room was empty. My heart pounded. Then I heard a whisper behind me. "Daniel." I turned. Emma stood in the hallway, normal again. "What?" she asked. I couldn't speak. "You look like you saw a ghost." I laughed nervously. "Yeah, maybe." She went back downstairs. I followed. I didn't tell her what I saw. Around midnight, we heard 3 knocks on the front door. Knock, knock, knock. We looked at each other. "Mom and Dad?" Emma asked. I checked my phone. No messages. Another knock. I looked through the peephole. Nobody. The street was empty. Then I heard a voice behind me. "Don't open it." Emma stood at the bottom of the stairs. I looked back at the door. Another knock. Then silence. I locked the deadbolt and stepped away. The rest of the night felt strange. The house was too quiet. At 1 a.m, Emma suddenly said she was tired and went to bed. I stayed downstairs playing games on my phone. At around 2 o'clock, I heard footsteps upstairs again. I thought Emma had gone to the bathroom. Then I heard her laugh. A strange laugh. Slow. Deep. Not like her. I grabbed my flashlight and went upstairs. The hallway was empty. Then I saw Emma standing in my parents' room. She was facing the window. "Emma?" She didn't move. "Are you okay?" Slowly, she turned around. Her eyes were black again, and this time she wasn't smiling. She was crying. Black tears rolled down her cheeks. "Help me," she whispered. Suddenly, the bedroom door slammed shut. The lights flickered. The room became freezing cold. I couldn't move. Emma's body twisted unnaturally, her head tilted. Then a voice came from her mouth. A man's voice. "She belongs to me!" I screamed. The door burst open by itself. I ran downstairs. I grabbed my phone and called my parents. No answer. I called the police. No signal. Then all the lights in the house turned on at once. Every light, every lamp, every room. I heard footsteps behind me, slow footsteps. I turned around. Emma stood on the stairs. But she wasn't standing. She was crawling, on all fours, her head upside down, smiling. "Play with me," she whispered. I backed away. She started crawling down the stairs faster. I ran into the kitchen. I locked the door. The scratching started immediately. Scratch, 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 then silence. I looked toward the window. Emma stood outside, smiling. I almost fainted. How could she be outside? I slowly looked back toward the kitchen door. Someone knocked from the other side. Then I heard Emma's voice. "Daniel, let me in." I looked at the window again. She was still there. I couldn't breathe. Which one was real? The one outside or the one behind the door? Suddenly, both voices said at the same time, "Let me in." The kitchen lights exploded. Glass flew everywhere. I screamed. Then everything became quiet. A hand touched my shoulder. I turned around. It was Emma, normal, crying. "Daniel," she whispered, "there's something in the basement." What? I heard it calling me. I didn't want to go. But she looked terrified, so we walked toward the basement door. The door was slightly open. I don't remember leaving it open. A cold wind came from below. Then we heard it. A voice. "Emma!" She grabbed my arm. "It's been calling me all night." I slowly opened the basement door. The darkness below seemed endless. We walked downstairs. Each step creaked. At the bottom, I shined my flashlight around. Nothing. Then the light landed on the far corner. Someone was standing there. A little girl. She looked exactly like Emma. The girl smiled. Beside me, Emma started crying. "That's not me," she whispered. The girl stepped forward. Then another step. Then another. Her smile grew wider. "You left me down here," she said. "What?" I asked. "I've been waiting." The lights went out. I heard Emma scream. Then complete darkness. I felt someone grab my leg. I kicked and ran. I heard footsteps chasing me upstairs. I slammed the basement door. Silence. Then knock, knock, knock. Something was trapped inside. I looked at Emma. She looked pale. Then she suddenly smiled. A huge, unnatural smile. "You should have left the door open." My blood turned cold. "Emma!" Her eyes turned black. "You locked me in." She began laughing. The basement door started shaking violently. Boom, boom, boom. Then it burst open. The little girl slowly walked upstairs. She looked at me, then at Emma, then both of them smiled. At the same time. They said together, "We found you." Everything went dark. I woke up in my bed. Morning sunlight filled my room. I sat up, breathing heavily. It was all a dream. Just a dream. I laughed. I couldn't believe how real it felt. Then I heard my sister downstairs. "Daniel, breakfast," I smiled. I went downstairs. Emma was sitting at the table eating cereal. Normal. Everything was normal. I sat beside her. "You okay?" she asked. "You won't believe the nightmare I had." She laughed. "What happened?" I looked at her. Then I froze. For a split second, her eyes looked completely black. I blinked. They were normal again. "You look scared," she said. I forced a smile. "I'm fine." She leaned closer and whispered, "Next time, don't lock the basement door." I woke up screaming. Again, I was back in my bed. Morning sunlight filled the room. My heart pounded. I looked around. This time I knew. The first time wasn't real. That was the dream. This was reality. Then my bedroom door slowly opened. Emma stood there, smiling. "Breakfast is ready," she said. I stared at her. She tilted her head. "Daniel." I suddenly heard my alarm clock. Beep, beep, beep. I opened my eyes. I was in my bed. For real. The sun was shining. My alarm was ringing. I sat there for a long time. No whispers, no shadows, no black eyes, just silence. Then my phone buzzed, a message from Emma. It said, "I had the weirdest dream last night. You locked something in the basement. Thanks for being part of this journey. Don't forget to like and subscribe. More adventures ahead. See you soon."